All right. G'day, everyone. Hey, guess what? This space is recorded. Oh my God, winning already. Huge win. Guys, last week we did a space and this guy forgot to press the record button. Yep, huge L. But this space, I feel like it's like I woke up and like on the right side of the bed, like when you wake up. I don't know if you've all seen that video on Instagram, and like the sergeant basically he's like up on stage and he's giving some speech about like, here's how to start your day off right. You got to make your bed. And the reason why is because when you make your bed, you start off on a good note. It sets the tone for the rest of the day. And you, even if you have a bad day and you come back home, you look at your bed and you know that you've accomplished at least one thing in that day. And I feel like that's what hitting the record space button did for me this evening. So yeah, guys, welcome to Web3 Buzz, yet another week. Today's topic is gaming infrastructure. We'd like to welcome my host, ex-co-host. I believe it's Jeff behind the account. G'day, Jeff. Yeah, guys, we're in for a good one today. Love seeing that there's some new speakers here. Love seeing that we've got some recurring speakers as well. I believe Jordan's been here before. He's a legend. He's building like a cool, no, was it RuneScape? Yeah, it's like a RuneScape-like game, if I remember. Vayner, guys killing it. When 500 mil market cap. Ruby, I'm not sure if I've seen you before, but as for the rest of them, yeah, welcome. Oh, hang on, wait, I can't forget Mikkel. Yes, hello again. All right, so guys, today, super exciting space. I'm actually just trying to get my questions up. Here we go. All right, so, oh, wait for a second. Jeff, sorry, it's not Jeff, it's Fred behind the account. This guy. Fred, what I need to do is figure out if we're going to let the other guys up. Okay, this is what we do. I've got the best idea. Jordan, are you cool to co-host with us so that we can just let some more speakers up so we can actually max it out? Awesome. I'm going to send you that right now. Invite as co-host. Bear with us, everyone. This way we can just get more speakers up and it's a lot easier. Fred, go ahead and let any of the other speakers up as well. And then what we'll do is we'll do a round of intros, guys. Keep this really short. Your name, the project that you're representing, try to keep it in like a few sentences and we can just kind of move around the room. We'll start with, actually, I'll get us started. My name's Blake. I'm the head of Web3 Gaming for a project called GAIMIN. We're the world's largest source of decentralized GPUs, the biggest deep-in player in the world for GPUs. And yeah, super excited to host this space with you guys. Jordan, you go next, brother.
Yeah, what's up, co-host of the GAIMIN Twitter space, Jordan here. I just made my bed, dude. You inspired me, so thank you for that. I'm building Eureka. Eureka is a game of 1850s continent-sized colonization where you play in photorealistic first person and build an entire country with the other players from the ground up on a big empty continent.
Let's go. All right. Next is Peter Pandam.
Hello, everyone. I'm Peter. I'm a builder at Nouns Esports. We're an esports team funded by NounsDAO.
Awesome. Hey, we've versed each other at the TI Dota 2 last year. Hey, that was actually like a really cool tournament. We did get yous in the end, but guys, we were actually super stoked to be able to do a collab with you prior to the game. That was epic. Love seeing other people in the space that are also doing esports. Mikkel, go for it.
Hey, good to see you guys again. Thanks for the invite. I am Mikkel from Sedona. We are a platform as a service for developers looking to launch and scale a Web3 game. And I am also an advisor at the Crypto Recruiters. So happy to help with anybody's hiring needs as well. And thrilled to be here, guys. I'm excited to talk about infrastructure. I'm very passionate about it.
Epic. All right, Vayner, go for it.
GM, thanks for having us back. My name is Travis over at Vayner. Perfect topic for us, gaming infrastructure, because that is in our blood. We are Web3 for the billions of consumers in the entertainment space, and we have mainstream adoption in our DNA. And infrastructure is, right up our pipeline, and really excited to get into this space. Also happy it's recorded because I know we had that like huge top secret alpha last week that wasn't recorded that we're not supposed to talk about, so I won't get into that, but it'll be nice for others this week.
He who must not be named. That's exactly right, Vayner. All right, Genso Meta, go for it.
Hey guys, Nobara here from Genso Kishi. I'm looking after the global communications and business development. And for those of you that haven't checked out Genso yet, please make sure you do. It is a 15-year-old 3D MMORPG coming from Japan. Thank you for having us today.
Welcome, Genso. We've also got Game of Silks.
GM, guys. This is Ian from Game of Silks. We are the premier tokenized thoroughbred horse racing project, partnered with some of the biggest players in the thoroughbred horse racing space, where you can earn royalties on living, breathing, real-world horse assets with the billionaires. So it's pretty cool, and excited to join you guys in some amazing projects up here today.
That's amazing. Loving the horse racing games recently. That's super cool, guys. Well done. Myth, go for it.
Hey guys, good morning, everyone. I'm Jason. I'm the CEO and co-founder over at Myth. We're a GameFi and digital entertainment ecosystem, and we're about to kick ass with our first flagship game, Hex Mythica, which is a pretty revolutionary roguelite that's being built with the lovely help of some major studios in the space. We're just thrilled to be here, and this topic with infrastructure and gaming is all what we're about. It's about providing all the tools for the next gen of games for the world.
Let's go. Nice work, Myth. Pachara, go for it.
Hey everyone, good morning. I'm the head of ecosystem over at Oasis. So we're an L1 gaming-focused blockchain. Geez, I can't even keep count anymore. I think we have 13, 14 L2s. So we primarily work with like Sega, Bandai Namco, Square Enix, you name it. We work with a lot of AA's, AAA's, and that sort of stuff. So really, bringing this to the mainstream. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome, Eric. That's awesome. Sugarheads NFT, go for it, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. Web3 Hero from Sugarheads NFT, and I'm very, very honored to be here with so many awesome names and speakers that we have up today. So what we are is it's the first of its kind NFT with a basket of digital assets, ERC tokens, ERC20 tokens connected to each NFT. So it's basically an unruggable NFT project. And we look to segue into addictive, fun, simple games as well. So that's who we are.
Nice, mate. And finally, last but not least, Ruby Edelstein. Hey, buddy.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. You keep the best for the last. And we're an NFT XP.NETWORK is an NFT multi-chain bridge. We're currently connected to 30 different blockchain, around 10 non-EVMs. We have around 31 wallets integrations in our on our UI. Thank you for having me, guys. Looking forward to the.
All right, guys, we're all here. We're all stacked. I'm looking forward to these questions. I do like to keep these questions broad because there are usually pretty smart individuals in the room, because I know that we like to get into a bit of detail and we sort of do segments. So these spaces do become quite natural in the way that we speak. So guys, feel free to just be relaxed. This is an easygoing space. I just want everyone to sort of like speak their minds and not have to worry. Usually we actually have a really good combination of speakers when we treat it like a room of friends. So the first question, and guys, when you want to answer, just unmute and go for it. No need for hands. But the first question is, what are key gaming infrastructure projects that are noteworthy in either Web3 or Web 2.5? Don't all jump in at once.
I think I rugged at the end of the question, so I didn't hear the whole thing. Maybe everyone else didn't hear it too.
Guys, did you? And give me a thumbs up if you heard the question.
we heard it. I'm like, how do we
Awesome.
not promote ourselves? Key gaming infrastructure, right?
You know what you do? Just I think if you really believe that you guys, no, because it's a fair question, because if there are projects in the space that and sorry, it's a fair point, I should say. If there's a project in the space and you believe that you have like a really cool infrastructure project for gaming, like try to do it in a way that's not shilly, where you're not trying to like tell us to ape into your project. Try to describe it in a way that tells us the features and components of your project that make for like a real good reason as to why people should be paying attention. It might have a future effect on other Web3 gaming projects in the space. It might have an immediate effect right now, or it's already had like a I would say a past of adoption and some real a good track record. So feel free to just jump in and try not to be too shilly.
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, I think maybe I'm a little bit unique in the space as we come from things at the very blockchain level. So we're what I would consider the very, very base level of infrastructure for gaming. And, Oasis, we're an L1. And on the L2 level, we support whatever people want to do, right? Whatever works best for gaming. And so I think, what we're really seeing at that infrastructure level is a big play of, what I would call giants in the space, especially in the L2 space where a lot of gaming is happening. So whether it be like Polygon and what they're doing with Polygon CDK, so that's on one side. We have Optimism and they're working on Optimism Superchain. We have ZK Sync. We have all of these different infrastructure providers at that very deep level, gearing up and moving towards gaming, right? So this is a huge shift from what we've seen in the last cycle, where no one really cared. Like, let's be honest, people were not that much into gaming in the last, bull run. But now, every major infrastructure provider from the blockchain level is super deeply interested in gaming and blockchain gaming and where it's going to go. So I'll leave it there, but just kick off the conversation.
Eric, before I want to come back to you on this point. I just forgot one thing. Fred's reminded me, all the speakers on the panel right now and listeners, if you can, please click the button in the bottom right corner. It's the comment section. I need you guys to repost. Let's please repost the room. If you are a speaker on the panel, you are required by law, section 307, to retweet the room. That is it's like part of the bylaws of when you signed up to speak. So, but yeah, all the listeners.
Absolutely. Done.
Definitely want
Done.
Legend. I can see, oh my God, my notifications are popping off. But yeah,
Okay.
Eric, to your point, I don't know, I feel like in the last bull run, we had heaps of people interested in GameFi, and it definitely had a couple of its own sort of during the peak of the bull, during the whole entire bull run, definitely had a couple of its own mini bull runs in itself. But definitely the talk is this coming bull run, GameFi and AI are definitely the two biggest, I guess, narratives to watch. But mate, all of a sudden,
hey man, we're blockchain game native here as a team. We released a game in 2017 before My Crypto Kitties came out called My Crypto Heroes. We were the #1 game on blockchain for quite a while until DeFi summer happened, and then things had to shift. So hey, we're totally there. We're super excited to be here. Would love to hear from other people.
Hi, I'll jump in. We're an esports team. It's a very Web2 familiar thing. We're kind of piquing people's curiosity and kind of helping market Web3. We want them to say, well, okay, Nouns Esports, we like their esport teams, but what's NounsDAO? So then they go Google, they figure out NounsDAO, they learn about the governance models and how easy or simple it can be to submit a proposal and receive funding for their passion project or a great idea. And it's really straightforward. Holders vote on whether or not they want to do it. And if they say yes, then you get funded and you go about and do your thing. So a lot of groups are often looking for funding for their various initiatives, and they often have to jump through a lot of different hoops in order to get their projects off the ground. And in crypto, it doesn't necessarily have to be, we enable it to be a little bit simpler than that.
I'll hop in. So if, wink, wink, I was building a game launcher, I would be building it in a way that did not restrict any of the experiences players could possibly have on the platform. A lot of infrastructure is kind of backing themselves in corner, whether it's through Connect wallet solutions or building their own chains. And that is never going to be an inclusive place for all of Web 2 to come in and experience all of Web 3 of what we have to offer here, right? So building it very open, not painting yourself into a corner where you might not be, you never know what chain. There's hundreds of millions of dollars being thrown around on all these different chains. You don't know where that next winner is going to come from. So to give yourself the best shot of winning, you definitely want to make sure that you can deploy any game on your platform. And then two, I think the biggest value proposition that we have in Web3, aside from ownership, is that the whole point here is to reward people for the contributions that they're making to ecosystems. So finding ways to reward players and not shilly, it doesn't have to be tokens, just some kind of meaningful rewards. It could be profit sharing. It could be, bounties. It could be any number of things, but people are leaving Web 2 because they're being extracted from, if they're leaving at all. And that's the biggest reason I see people coming over. It's not because the gameplay is fantastic. It's not because they love crypto and blockchain technology. It's not because of the financial incentives per se. They believe a lot of it's a scam. But if you're meaningfully rewarding your players for contributing to those ecosystems, I think you'll go a lot further with that Web 2 audience.
To follow up what you were just saying, I don't think this is the first time we've agreed on launchers on a Twitter space, but like there's a lot of closed silos being built right now, and everyone needs to like keep in mind that there's going to be a moment, maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, where the biggest closed silo in gaming decides that they like crypto now, and that's Steam. And whenever Steam decides that they're okay with NFTs, that's it. Either someone has found their audience and made a stand and built something before then, or none of us have a chance. And so the only way that we're going to stand against that is by really embracing all of our principles, is that fully decentralized idea for a launcher. Everything that blockchain can do better than something like Steam can do has to be built and working great. I guess separate on infrastructure, I'm building a game, but I'm trying to use Web3 infrastructure differently than a lot of other games, which is that we're actually building multi-chain. We're going to be building Eureka on 5 different blockchains with like a piece of our backend on each of them by the end of it, all connected through an off-chain kind of hub. And I'm kind of hoping that people look at what we're doing and start to kind of do the same, where they think about blockchains and different crypto infrastructure as just like a piece of tech, not a boat you have to throw yourself fully onto one and just pick.
Facts.
Hey, do you guys mind if I jump on?
Yeah, go
Hit it. Go for it, man.
All right. I am a little different. I'm not actually building I'm not building games. I'm building more experiences with my little project and my team. We're quite small at the moment, so it's a long-term build, and we're building for mixed reality. And so like what we're building for is in reality about 5 years out to actually being a reality of mobile XR and everybody actually having the devices that we are looking for. Extremely mobile, 8-hour at minimum battery life. The current battery life on these just don't work for what we are building for. At Cloncouver, it's more of a experience to get people outside. We are huge fans of what Pokemon did for humanity as far as pulling people out of their house to collaborate and meet new humans and find new people, like-minded individuals. So Cloncouver is meant to be basically Pokemon Go, but for every single individual artist on the space. Any individual one-of-one NFT artist could basically, in XR, take their art, digital collectibles, and hide them around the city using geolocation to then give their audience and fans a little treasure hunt to go find and collect. This is going to be a long build. Going to need a lot of help with this, but this is the plan for Cloncouver. And the reason we chose Vancouver was the high concentration of 3D artists, studios, and gaming companies. Disney just opened up their first studio in Vancouver last year. So we are using Vancouver as our standing point for this to launch the future of XR cities, given the high concentration of 3D talent.
I'm going to jump in for 2 seconds and say, hey, shout out to Vancouver. We're also here in Vancouver. So
hey, my God.
Becoming a hotbed. I mean, everything from like Layer Zero, Covalent, all kinds of stuff in Vancouver. So just shout out to Vancouver. Absolutely.
PNW is popping, that's for sure, for Web3. I would say, and I think a couple of people here on the stage even use it. We use Magic Link. They're like wallet creation, which is a very daunting process, writing on the keys, loosely paper. How do we reduce that friction? And they've done an excellent job on making it about as simple as like a 15-year-old could do it. So they store your keys and you can export them to MetaMask. So you still can have custodial access, but super smooth UX UI, which I think was a bigger pain point. And now folks like people on stage and even us at Game of Silks, dealing with people that aren't as Web3 native, that definitely aren't at all, making that a smooth and seamless process and be able to use credit cards is big. And you can purchase crypto with them. If you integrate it with zero hash, you don't need to exchange or transfer to your wallet. So those are pretty exciting. And Magic Link also has that fiat on ramp, and I'm pretty sure a couple of guys here on stage use that. So it's been a big plus for us bringing people from Wall Street to Main Street with mom and pops into real ownership.
A technology that I would like to talk about without even trying to show our own game is definitely UGC. I mean, the majority of speakers and participants in this conversation have to do with gaming, and I feel like UGC will be becoming bigger and bigger in a world where we're owning our assets and we're spending and investing a lot of time and attention in those games and projects. It only makes sense for us to be able to be contributing to those economies. So we have that functionality in game, but I from what I've seen from our partners and friends that we're working with, this will be becoming a massive thing because it feels so good to know that you've been able to contribute and to see your work within a game. And not only, but if you're a content creator, a KOL, if you have a community, then you can build something for those people and reward them in that way. And it just feels so much more unique and special. Like, for example, let's say your game has the ability to, has the tool to create UGC within game. You can use those NFTs as almost as pull-ups for events, or just to build something that is quite different to the established kind of norm in how we engage with our community. So it is definitely something that I would like to see more of in the space.
I mean, I guess it is sort of idea moving forward, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Kind of throwing out a broad question, but
No stress. If you can try, just keep it to answering the question, because I know we want to talk about our projects as much as possible, but just gotta,
Actually,
if we could keep it to answering the question.
I just want
Love it.
to jump in real quick and say I just put into Grok what are key gaming infrastructure projects in Web3, and I thought it was a really cool answer because it says, I'm going to read it. In the realm of Web3 gaming, several key infrastructure projects are driving the industry forward. One notable project is the GAIMIN platform, and I thought that was super relevant.
Hey,
Hold
No
up
way.
first on Grok.
Where did you type that in?
Grok is killing
On
it.
Grok, it said
Ah.
GAIMIN platform leverages
I
blockchain
love that so much.
technology and AI to create a decentralized gaming ecosystem. This platform enables gamers to monetize their computational resources and earn rewards while contributing to the gaming community. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I pulled you guys up there first on the
That's hilarious.
answer.
That's
You've got
actually
that Grok
amazing.
SEO.
Yeah, without even trying.
You guys are
Grok
killing
EO.
it.
You know what?
GEO.
I wouldn't mind answering the question.
Geo, 3D
I
Geo.
don't usually answer the questions, but I think it is worth noting that just features, right? So projects to look out for. Yeah, GAIMIN, obviously we want you to look out for us, but I think what's exciting is the whole idea around a Web 2.5, because we're thinking about it in a way where we onboard masses, and so something that we've been able to do is bring in gamers into a gaming platform with subsidized gaming effectively. So we allow them to monetize their spare or unused GPU power by just simply clicking one button. It's that simple. You just click it on, and they're able to effectively receive rewards for sharing that with us. We then monetize it and send them back. Right now it's USDC, and so this effectively allows them to then go ahead and spend that on, for example, the NFT marketplace, where gamers always want to buy in-game skins and armor, weapons, whatever it might be. I just think that that's super cool, something that I guess is here it's in the ecosystem. It's got a good track record. The adoption is already there. There's already a few 100,000 downloads. But yeah, again, guys, I don't usually answer the questions. I like to just ask them. But it's cool that Grok actually brought that up just for a little bit more depth there. But that's epic.
Yeah, you need to add them to the
You guys mind
payroll.
if I...
But I was going to add another one. One that I know that I think is really cool is IQ Protocol. With their NFT rental platform, especially kind of centered around games, where both games can put pieces on there, to rent out for a lower entry fee for someone that may want to just use it for a day, a tournament, an event, something like that, or users can throw them up there. And I think it really opens it up a lot, because I know myself. I would love to, have $1,000, CS:GO skin for some kind of tournament or event or some vehicle, but it's gut wrenching to, purchase and shell out the money. But it's a lot easier for me to say, hey, let me rent that for $15 a day, or for the week, I'll give you $50 to rent it and use it for this event kind of thing. And I think it really opens up a whole new avenue and stuff, and it's a really cool kind of infrastructure play with those gaming rentals.
I actually have to agree. I'm going to agree with you there. I met the IQ Protocol team in London last summer, and the way they've actually gone about the accessibility to being able to rent is really, really cool for this space. They make it so easy, and in fact, we're actually going to be utilizing their protocols with Myth. So yeah, it's always nice to hear certain names that we've been talking with mentioned. But yeah, they do have a really smooth onboarding process for any type of user. It doesn't have to be Web3 natives. They made it super simple. So from an infrastructure standpoint, kudos to them.
I have a question for GAIMIN that I've been obsessing with over the ideology of render network. This makes more sense for you guys actually. I'm curious about your thoughts on the future of real-time rendering for gaming. So with XR, as people are moving around, so the future of those games, and being able to render those graphics in real time, and just the level of which I'm just curious about people's thoughts on the infrastructure needed for real-time XR gaming. I don't even know if I necessarily have a question there, but just more thoughts as things get more progressively higher fidelity, as well as more mobile, how we are going to build out the infrastructure that actually can render those high fidelity assets on the go with the compute that we actually have, because I don't believe we actually have the compute to reach the level of mobile XR without moving towards the cloud. That's just a personal opinion, but
jump in with kind of like a side direction of that development. I'm busy building away AI generated viewports for our game, where there's an underlying 3D game world that's like what everyone's actually playing in. But then it takes a screenshot of your character's view, converts it with AI, and sends that to you. People have already been building low resolution, like I'm talking like 240 pixels, 320 pixels, 30, 60 frames per second video games that are fully AI generated viewports where they don't even have a 3D world. I'm like a hybrid fan, but I kind of think all this incredible work in the realism of graphics is going to get front run at some point in the next year or two by bailing on all of that and just using AI as kind of the last mile of it. And so if you want to talk about like the compute needed for that, what it is it's going to be powered just by on-device graphics capability to run the AI. And that we already have so much focus going into that for every other reason as well that I think it'll kind of just like catch up.
That's a great point. I appreciate that a lot. That's a really, really, really thought out point.
It's funny, you've just said XR. This is something that I personally haven't researched myself, but it's to do with what I'm reading is basically like not spatial, but extended reality, right? So I believe, Sol, the point that you're making was around the Apple, like the new goggles that are out, right? So
yeah, I'm building for like version 5 of that. So there's a 2-hour battery life on those, and so it's quite limiting. I'm more like thinking about the next 5 years when things get extremely mobile.
Interesting. Look, I don't actually have a comment on that with rendering right now. That's probably something the tech team has actually like already checked out. I think like a good.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a big
It
topic
is.
to think
It's
about.
actually huge. So like as we all know, like Render Network have. I think they've done it. I don't know if they've just claimed it. I think they've done it as well. Like basically being able to complete rendering for spatial computing.
Yeah, I can speak to this heavily.
Yeah. Just give a quick
So
example.
Pudgy Penguins, their animation that they just released that everybody may have seen, it blew up the Twitter. So like it was just before New Year's. It was completely rendered on Render Network. So what that allows for is instead of using a home device and your GPU and whatever infrastructure you have as a small studio, and you need to get it done quick. And it's a very big project. I think that was a 2-minute animation or 1-minute animation. So it was like, let's say 1,200 frames. Each frame, it needs to be rendered. And each frame, and the way Render Network works, each frame is a transaction on chain, and each frame is stored on chain for proof of provenance and proof of history of like what you actually did, your renders, your job. All the files then are stored too. So the idea of what Render is also trying to do too is like digital rights management and proof of provenance, being able for artists who are actually building in 3D all day, like people, being able to push their entire files to as well beyond just the image to prove that they actually created the entire image themselves, not just using AI. So like I'm a huge component, and like I'm a believer of AI artists too, like people who are using AI to improve and make their art. But I'm also a huge believer of the people who are be able to like prove that like work I did like please don't think that this is AI. I really put the work in to make my vision true.
Love
I
it.
love the depth there, man. That's awesome. All right, next question. Let's do it. Let's keep it rolling, guys. So first question was based around infrastructure projects. Second question is more getting specific. So I like to keep them broad, but it's kind of like broad specific. So what are some great examples of Web3 tech being used in gaming now and coming in 2024? So things to look forward to that are being built that are releasing soon.
Man, I'm so sorry to keep talking about Render. So if anyone's familiar with Octane X, it is the only application on the Vision Pro and on Apple devices working with blockchain that I know of and I'm aware of. It is, to me, the infrastructure to gaming in the future and making everything faster. So I'm not a gamer anymore. I stopped years ago because I have things to build. But basically, people talk about lag all the time. So think about any time that you're going to lag in your game because of frame rate and your GPUs drop and you're moving too fast. Basically, the idea is Render or another device like GAIMIN could come in and pick up using a huge decentralized system of GPUs to make your gaming experience just absolutely stellar. Like you just don't have to worry. You can promote your game as being like no lag, no blah blah. Like I'm not going to be able to speak to gaming terms because I'm not a gamer, but just be able to promote your game as just like, we are gonna have the best graphics, guys. Let's go.
Yo, what project is that?
Render
Network. Super cool.
A toy, Jules. I'm the biggest Jules Urbach fanboy ever. Jules Urbach is the absolutely coolest alien human being right now to me on the planet. He is building some of the coolest things. Him and Tim Sweeney, but Jules Urbach especially, have the best understanding of the metaverse I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sounds good, man. So something that I've been interested in about, that obviously we're not producing, but maybe we'll be able to take advantage of in the future is, I don't know if you guys have been following a company called Lattice, LATTICE.XYZ. And so they're partially backed here by Optimism, and they're creating two different parts to this puzzle. And one is called MUD, MUD, which is an application framework for fully on-chain games. So again, this is another meta we're really seeing come, during this bull market or the start of this bull market, hopefully, is fully on-chain games, which has always been a challenge, right? Just based on the amount of transactions that they need and the way that the games are built and everything, connecting those with existing game engines, lots of friction there. So MUD is an application, and then it goes with a DA layer, right, to help manage all of those transactions that are going to happen, and that's called a Redstone. So this is a pretty new project, again, backed by Optimism. So hopefully we'll see an uptick really on fully on-chain gaming as the infrastructure becomes more mature, so that game developers can really focus on just making games and having to less focus on that side of things.
Any more takes, guys?
Not to show, but I mean, just send this to Jordan. If anybody's interested, I'll repost my article on Render Network and Apple working together to create the mixed reality future. My project is called Archive. I'm the host. I'm still behind on the podcast, but I'm the host of it. Let me know if you guys ever want to talk about Render Network. I could talk about Render Network forever.
So I love that, bro. And so Render Network actually went ahead and did the spatial computing thing with Apple, but was that just through like application of Developer Toolkit and then just jumping in?
No, a toy. So okay, the company to actually research is a toy. It is the Web2 company that has been is Jules Urbach's first company that he created for Octane, which is a render engine, which is one of the top 5 render engines in my industry. It isn't as used in the for like as many films because like the film industry is really slow. They use Arnold. And Octane is just like the future, and GPU rendering is the future. Jules Urbach saw this 20 years ago. He is like his best point is every time that we have an improvement in GPU, we as artists fill that void immediately. Oh, we can render at 1K. We're rendering at 1K. Oh, we can render at 2K. We're rendering at 2K. Oh, 8K. We're going. 16K. Let's go. We trying to get our graphics looking good, baby. No, so like that, like his points to like us, we're never gonna fill that void of GPUs. Like we're always gonna be trying to catch up. Like it's just and so he saw this idea to push rendering to the cloud. A toy has been working in cloud computing and rendering forever. He had a patent out in 2009 for decentralized compute. He was waiting for like blockchain technology just to come along forever, and it just did. And he was just like, "Oh, dope, cool. Finally, something we can build on." And basically, then he created Render Network, which is they've now opened up a DAO. I mean, the DAO is a little chaotic because I got 15,000 render drained on New Year's Day. My company's a little screwed. I lost 100K. But it's all good. I'm moving forward, guys. It's all good. But we building, and we are here. But yeah, Render Network is my baby. I love it so much. I found that when I was in 3D class. The people to actually research and listen to is Jules Urbach. Like really, I can't emphasize that enough. Like he is one of the beautiful minds.
Question was, what are some great examples of Web3 tech being used in gaming now and coming in 2024?
I'll jump in here. We use this platform called rev.gg, and it allows creators to mint and distribute badges to set up fan loyalty programs using blockchain. And they have it all set up where it's very creator friendly, where you can do badge claims on Twitch, Discord, Twitter Spaces. And it's, yeah, then you can use these badges to gain analytics about your audience and their on-chain activities. And then also do like little raffles and things to reward people for them kind of, investing or participating in your community. So really, really easy, straightforward thing that people that aren't familiar with Web2 can get involved via custodial wallets, and people that are familiar with Web3 are able to kind of take that self-custody and own those badges on their own.
Yo, I second all the good statements about Rev. Great platform.
Same. And Juan is phenomenal.
Juan is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard good things. We've looked at it. I would say, there's a lot. Like obviously companies here on stage, Shrapnel, like some of the bigger heavy hitters in Web3. It's a lot of people don't know, but like my friend's son is like 16. He was showing me how he's collecting NFTs on this NFL app, like basically doing fantasy sports via NFL. It's fully like they have full custody, so it's not like full Web3 decentralized, but that's how you get people that once they get more familiar and understanding technology and can understand the importance of ownership, will start to branch out and elevate that gaming and ownership experience. And so that was a big thing for us, where thoroughbred racehorse is like a couple $1 million, where you can get it for thousands of the cost. And so a lot of sports will continue to do that, and making sure that folks have done that infrastructure, have that years of experience to lay it down to make sure it's secure for here in the future.
Jump in, guys.
Is everyone familiar with NBA Top Shot here and what Flow's building?
Yeah.
Dapper Labs.
Yeah, it's a crown
Okay,
jewel
good.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Because okay, cool, good. Because that's everything that they're building, they're basically taking over sports. If I'm not correct, like the deals that they've gotten, like La Liga, like, am I mistaken, or like I feel like they've gotten some really big, strong deals, and are like building out kind of the infrastructure of sports gaming and gambling and collecting. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have deals with like Mattel in the works too, like some gamified experiences with Mattel. Mickey Maher, one of our advisors, their former SVP there. He's pretty smart guy. He laid the ground for that.
Oh yeah, they have the Disney thing too, right?
Yeah.
They have a huge Disney little that one under the radar. I feel like people didn't even see that, like, in many circles I'm around. Like, I was like, that is huge to me. That, like, Disney coming on chain, what? Flow, like, whoa.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, and they own so many different brands that they're going to be.
Yeah,
my friend works at
they
Paramount.
have trust too. I feel like they just bring the trust, like bring the brands that Flow is able to build, and bring, like, they're building the trust layer to me for the Web2 audience that doesn't understand. Like, they make it so simple for people. I feel like like, there's so many people doing this as well, but to me, Flow is like top 5 of like just simplicity to on-chain assets and getting people in.
What's a couple of examples on how they're doing that?
Credit card. They were one of the first to do credit cards, really, with their wallet. That was a big one for NBA Top Shot, actually. Just allowing any user to basically, I'm a sports lover. I just open this up and I just input my credit card like I'm used to for everything else. Cool. Okay. And that got a huge amount of people just collecting their favorite sports moments. I would say was probably the first. Off the top of my head, I can't maybe think of that many others, but I mean, they've been building since CryptoKitties. I mean, they are one of the most influential, intelligent building companies, in my opinion, that goes under the radar. Like, people need to really pay attention to the Flow, because they are quiet, but they build big.
Guys, I actually want to segue into next question, because this is kind of like perfect for it. So the last question was going to be, what are ways you can see Web3 tech being mass adopted in games? I feel like you've just sort of hit the nail on the head with that example. Guys, can you think of any other ways?
XR collectibles, geolocated, being able to, like Pokemon Go, but on chain.
Like Rebase, kind of like Rebase are doing.
Yes, yeah, I think so. But that's going to be just absolutely insane. So, okay, this kid, he's an artist. He's not a kid, actually. Sorry. This guy, he is named Fly Phoenix Hotel. He did this. He's one of the coolest minds to me. He created his art piece to be a digital collectible. This is years ago, by the way. And then what you are able to do with that digital collectible is you are one of the only people to get access to the Instagram AR filter, to then showcase that and put it on your story, put it out there and be like, I collected this. I got this. You don't. Ha ha ha. It's part of the, it's not my favorite thing, but people like to flex, and it's also a way to how to get art out there. But it's a way to create exclusivity, and it's a way to create, like, AR and AR filters are an amazing way to push your brand and your objects and your assets. Like, think GAIMIN. Okay, think about any of your digital assets being able to be also AR filters, and all of your gamers on Instagram being able to then, while they're like sitting there gaming, like, then being able to put on their story a little spinning asset of like a dagger, a gun, even a full character would be dope. Like, just doing their little like idle cycle, just standing there being like, or waving, like, and then you've got the game in the background. Like, you've got your character. Like, let's say you put a lot of work into making your character look the way you want it to work, and then you get to also then have the AR filter, and then you take a little story if you're about to like jump in the game, and it's like, we going in, guys, let's go, and you're just like you on the story, and you've got your little homie, and it's you, and you're all together, and you're about to go into the game, and like, I don't know. To me, that is viral marketing. That is guerrilla marketing. That is everything.
You're seeing it. You're
And no
seeing
one's
it
doing
now with
this.
the like not in that way, but like pretty much with the same tech on the Apple Vision Pro. So I think like one thing that I heard in the space today, and I agree with, was with the Apple Vision Pro, when they actually did the marketing before they released it, they sort of did it in a way where the actual advertisements weren't necessarily that great, but no one knew that until after, when you started seeing all these KOLs, aka key opinion leaders, starting to produce content that actually looked better than the Apple ads. And I feel like they did that intentionally to sort of make it seem like, oh, geez, this is actually better than anyone could have imagined.
100%.
And people took it on,
Apple's,
you know, and it's
yeah,
it's exactly what you're talking about, Sol. Like it's that AR, right? Because you see all the different things
yeah.
happening, like literally live as people are doing
Jealousy.
it, you know?
Yeah, Apple is one of the best at doing this, honestly. Like they're like no one can compete with them at this ability. Their audience, their buyers, their users are their marketing. Like they use their people, push their product and fight for their product and love their product and and like to like their the amount of people who wear their product like a fashion accessory, that is what Apple is good at. Like they just made the Vision Pro a fashion accessory. There's this girl Mika, who's part of the OD Labs, and like one thing that I like about OD is they understand like the culture aspect, the ground roots. Mika is gonna be a little fashion icon with like the Vision Pro. There's like the Vision Pro is also gonna allow these already fashion icons to then be like, look at me, I got this, you don't got this because I got the money. And then they're gonna be like, I got 4-hour battery life because I got the battery extension because I got 5K, and like I can go outside for longer. It's just like so dumb, but like to me, this is what Apple is really good at, and it's just their people fight the battle for them.
Andy, you've had your hand up for a second there, mate. You must have a sore shoulder. Jump in.
Whoops, sorry, couldn't find the app. I was just doing some work and listening to you guys. Thanks for having me up. I think the question was something like, how are we gonna kind of scale gaming in 2024? Is that about right?
Yeah, so it was what are the ways you can see Web3 tech being mass adopted in games? And if you want to say it's like to do with 2024, that makes total sense.
Yeah, sure. So quick intro, Andy, head of BD for Stardust. We are gaming infrastructure. So this love this conversation. Love all the chats. Thanks for having me up.
You guys sponsor Jonah Blake, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another sponsorship too coming soon. It'll be fun. Yeah. So I mean, in general, I think this is one of those things where we're going around in circles in the industry, saying the same things over and over again ad infinitum. I think that the thing that I'm seeing the most interesting right now is because you have these like larger teams that can build everything themselves when it comes to like rolling their own authentication, working with like payment providers, things like that. But then you have these kind of like blockchain centric solutions for it. What I mean is, it's very interesting to me to see games that are having a login flow that's tied to a wallet. And I'm not naming names or saying anything at all, but pardon me. But what I think is going to be a potential problem when we talk about the scale of 500 million players, joining into the space, especially when we have these big events, will be kind of these providers that are meant to focus on blockchain owning exclusively like the top of funnel for your user onboarding. And if there's any problems with that, having the game kind of break down. We're already seeing some examples of this. So what I think will be the future of this kind of onboarding process will be blockchain kind of staying in the back, very, very tucked away, completely like server to server, just owning exclusively blockchain. And then the game will look and feel exactly like no other logos, no other pop-ups, anything like that will feel exactly like a Web 2 game with the opt-in option, like deep in the menu of like advanced settings sort of thing to incorporate the blockchain stuff versus kind of like this heavy forward, like the worst case of this would be like a MetaMask, sign in. And then again, it depends on the game genre, but that's what I'm seeing right now across the space is kind of like leading with blockchain, even if it's signing in with Google, if that authentication is owned by a blockchain provider, I just find that very interesting compared to, it's also very valuable real estate and a lot of important user data being passed to like kind of this new third party of blockchain.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think like Web3 blockchain stuff can just stay completely outside the games. I actually think Web3 is a great way to empower the communities to sort of organize themselves. You know, these large decentralized audiences that are international and across the world, like they just have a hard time kind of getting on the same page. And I think that's where tokenization can kind of help organize and give them a better seat at the table in those discussions with the game developer. So that game dev can have really great feedback and can build towards the future of what their audience actually wants to see.
Yeah, and there are other like completely different, really valuable uses of blockchain for traditional gaming, other than just ownership of assets. So on the space yesterday, and someone made a great point, which I realized like, oh, it's something I should talk about for my game, which is they talked about other games with great economies in the past ending up getting ruined by like scams within them, like or cheats. Like the ability to, dupe an object and just like multiply it over and over and over. And that kind of can really ruin people's experience with the game. And if, you can't dupe a game item if it's tokenized in the background, it just like flat prevents that, which is huge. So anyway, yeah, I completely agree about blockchain staying underneath the surface. But I don't know if it's, it needs to stay or will stay outside entirely. I think there's a lot of different ways to kind of incorporate it that benefit, just nothing but benefit the game.
Totally agree.
I'm sure you agree, yeah.
No, I actually do. I just kind of meant what does the user experience for, if we're talking about 99% of people not knowing what a wallet is or wanting to deal with it and making sure that everything works really well. Keeping it tucked away and keeping it smooth, which I think we're all in agreement on.
Yeah, I mean, our browsers don't even show us the HTTP anymore, or even the www, right? That's a new one the last few years.
Exactly.
So,
I'm so sorry. I have to run. I just got pulled into a meeting. But thank you so much for having me up here. I'd love to come back and chat.
Yeah. Keeping it's like balancing that fine line, right? Where I've been in crypto for like 4 cycles, and I see a lot of games that are like ownership, but like as you guys said, and you talk to an average gamer, they're actually still like it's like owners, they don't really care.
I think it needs to be. Sorry, I was gonna say like
someone got cut off. My bad. Keep going, guys.
Yeah, I think you did cut off, but it depends on the genre of your game, and it depends on what you think is like a core game loop feature. Like some of a lot of games have like an economy that they're trying to build within it, and that's where I think a lot of opportunity is if you can create enough digital items that people are interested in trading. That's a very unique monetization model that many games have really struggled to achieve. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to figure out how to do best here, and on blockchain sort of enabling that. However, I come from Dota and Counter-Strike, and these games, there were no in-game assets for the longest time. This generation of microtransactions and in-game assets that you own and trade, buy and sell, this was a feature that came along way later when there was a huge audience already that was that they were trying to figure out how to extract more money from. So the core game doesn't necessarily have to feature in a robust economy. I think that's a dream scenario, but not necessarily part one.
I just want to touch in like on the ownership part. Like as a gamer, before Web3, I never really cared about the ownership aspect a whole lot. As a parent, I 1000% like changed my opinion on that. And that was even without Web3. When I've got 4 kids, they're all gamers. I spend like an embarrassing amount of money on their skins and all kinds of stupid stuff they want in games. And then like, one of my kids will stop playing and the other one will start playing. And I'm like, can't you just use your brother's account? Like he's already got, hundreds of dollars worth of skins and crap on here. And he's like, no, I want my own. And as a parent, I'm like, man, if I had ownership of this stuff, I could just transfer it to, my other son, since the one's no longer playing. And I think it will become more important in that sense once people understand it. But there's just not really the understanding.
That's also on like what Apple does so well, right? Like Apple is amazing at releasing a piece of tech that before it comes out, everyone's like, I don't need that, I don't care about it. And then it comes out, it's like, now they care. I completely agree that the same thing will happen for owning game assets. It'll become the default and the expectation. People will get why it matters, but they really don't care right now.
Yeah, it's UX UI. That's why Apple wins. And a lot of games have been around for 2 years or 1 year, and then it's it's kind of lacking in some of the still that friction. And like I said, with the wallets, like even MetaMask and Robbie's a step up. Because you can see your NFTs, but making that as smooth as process. And I think and it's just kind of like the nature of an engineer versus kind of like the end user, and making sure that that's always in mind, and getting rapid feedback and incorporating that lean startup mentality, deploy, iterate, etc. And so finding that balance, and then they'll have an enjoyable experience where the transactions are limited, and our next as low as possible, and then knock out of the park.
Oh shoot, sorry. I was just thinking about what the other person was saying about making people like want the assets, and it was just speaking to my point about before about the AR and the viral marketing, and like make people want what you have. If you can create a system that makes people want what you have, then you've got yourself new users every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where I think skill-based games come in over pay-to-win based games. Like,
I'm thinking more about marketing.
oh, from the
I'm
marketing,
thinking about,
right? Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking about Apple's killing it at make people want what you've got. Make people be like, damn, I'm Jeff. Damn, I need that. Everybody right now on the timeline is like, I need an Apple Vision Pro. In my timeline.
And all of us before were like, I don't really think I need that.
Exactly. I mean, I don't need that because like I'm building for after that next version, but hey, everybody else needs to need that.
Guys, I think we're gonna actually we're gonna wrap up. We usually like do it at the hour or just before. We've been going just over. What I will do though is I'd love for each of the projects just to sort of give a little closing thing. If there's anything you wanted to chat about for people to look forward to in the coming days, weeks, months, quickly just give a sentence or two, and then we'll close out the space.
If anyone wants to talk about anything I've talked about more in depth, I don't get to talk to a lot of people about it, so just hit me up. I would love to connect with anybody, really.
I hit you up in messages, brother. Join that TG group. We'd love to chat.
Will do.
Yeah, I would say just congrats to everyone who's building here, and it's not easy, and especially if you're paying out players. And we spent a lot of time and money figuring out the legal compliance to pay out people when their horses win on royalties, and so it's exciting. So we look forward to collabing with anyone that's kind of in that esports, RWA, synthetic asset, and Gamblify space, and keep on killing it. Catch you guys in the metaverse.
Yeah, thanks again. This was another awesome conversation. You definitely do well throwing together some awesome panels and some awesome topics. Learned a lot, and I hope everyone else did too. Excited to see where we're going in 2024, and what everyone else is getting out there, getting delivered. So thanks again.
Let's go.
Thank you for having us, guys. Hope to catch you soon again.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It's such a good space.
Cheers.